Oh, right.
I'm not the host.
I mean,
I'm sitting back.
You want to lead us in? Or do you want me to?
You start.
Welcome back to the Raw Import podcast. I already fucked
Raw
up.
import?
Raw import?
Cut the mics.
It's been a little while, but I think it's been like 3 or 4 weeks now.
We're not doing too
Just
bad. We're doing
okay. We didn't promise really anything at all, so
Yeah.
I think
we should do one episode a day.
I think just so people know, we should say like we're gonna shoot for monthly, and if it happens, it happens. If it's more, it's more. If it's not, it's not. So, and we're also doing stuff that like isn't the podcast. Like we watched 660 clips.
Well, I guess there's not that much content.
JD's YouTube.
Yeah.
And we're also doing a setup tier list stream soon, which will be
there's stuff going on in the community.
Similar to this, but more focused. So yeah.
But we want to do some more community
chat
events.
Out the video before we go.
Like the clips and the setup stuff. But we want to do some more community events. We want to do more stuff like the clips and the setup stuff. So there's lots of gaming. I know. I think game nights would be really cool.
We have this whole like.
What is something you're thinking of? It's like the perfect thing to satisfy my need to play dead games. Like I could play
exactly.
Evolution again.
Can we get everyone pale writer? Is that a thing we can do now? Or?
I don't think so. Maybe we can beg the developers because it shouldn't be that hard, right?
Right.
But anyway, what other games would there be? Battlefield 5 is like an NA 24/7 server. I want to try and populate.
That would be cool.
TF2. Some variants of TF2.
Yes,
so
that
would be good.
I was just gonna say that, like my finals game nights are really fun. And I did a Diabolical one years ago that I also really enjoyed. And it was meant to be like an Aussie game night, but for some reason there was only like English people. So
that's funny.
Yeah, everyone was on like 200 ping. It was a good time though.
That's good. Yeah. I know Riley said, I think it was Riley said COD 4 Pro Mod.
That would be cool.
There'll be like 5 people, but it'll be fun. I'll be there. I'm definitely keen.
Hold on, I need a second because my laptop isn't charging.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
And
put the technical difficulty sign up.
I'll just say this now actually. If any of you have any ideas of like games you'd like us to like play with the community or any other like adjacent ideas to a game night, just let us know in the comments. We do read them, so yeah.
I'm happy to play anything really, even if I'm like shit at it. I'll give it a go. I played fucking TF2 the other week.
Yeah, you're more powerful than me. If I think I'm bad at it, I might just cast or spectate or something.
Same. That's my solution too. I'll be a commentator.
Is it charging?
I'll play it.
It is charging, yeah.
Nice, okay.
Let's talk about what we've been playing then. It's been a little while. It's been like 3 or 4 weeks. It's been, I think, a FPS release that has been kind of exciting. Which is, more than you could say for the most things of the year.
Oh, I'm so like sad about Delta Force being nothing.
Yeah.
I haven't played that game in ages.
It was so close.
It actually has so much potential. Still, it has so much potential, but
why did it fall off so hard for us?
I think the SBMM was a big one. As much as people,
it was a big one.
Love to hate people who go like, oh, SBMM. It was pretty bad. It made the game pretty unenjoyable when you're just getting spammed with abilities constantly. Felt more like Overwatch than Battlefield.
That's true.
I think the other big factor was performance. JD, I think it was worse for you, so.
Well, in the beta before it was out, it was fine, and then the game came out, and it just would not run on my AMD GPU. And there was a workaround where I could roll back my drivers and stuff, but I already am on a certain driver for Call of Duty because Call of Duty also doesn't work on the newest AMD drivers.
So
it's like
you're swapping drivers for every game you play?
every game, and it's like I like Delta Force. I don't like it that much to where I'm going to fucking DDU my drivers every time I want to play. It might be fixed by now, to be fair. There's been a few updates since then.
Yeah, but I feel like when something like that happens and the core gameplay isn't that good, like you're not gonna come back. And like it
was definitely a turn off. Yeah. I probably will try it again somewhat soonish, but I don't know.
Other problems? Yeah, other problems for me is that like when it's a full release, I'm much less tolerant of mechanics I don't like.
Me too,
like the fact that when you fire, the crosshair doesn't stay in the center of your screen, and the bullets go with the crosshair, I believe. And that just like I don't know, it breaks my brain. I hate when I have a crosshair overlay. I'm like full tracking a guy and I'm doing 0 damage. It's just like a lot of small frustrations with the mechanics in that game that just make it feel not that tight compared to something like Battlefield 5.
I agree.
And something about the mouse input this time around. I don't know if I was just like less sensitive to it in the past or if it's gotten worse, but
I think the performance got worse, and that made the mouse input that was already kind of bad feel like more shit. I feel like it was just compounding.
Yeah. That was my issue.
It had me saying things like, at least Battlefield 2042, comma, and that's not a good start. That's not what you want to be saying. But yeah. When I went back to Battlefield 5 after like suffering through Delta Force, I was like, why is my mouse moving so fast? Like I don't, these motions that are going into my PC are like being reflected from my hand. That is so strange. I don't know. It's not the worst, but it is, something's wrong, and I can't even fully put my finger on what exactly it is, but
it just feels laggy.
It does.
Even though it's like not. Like we'll be on low ping and it still just feels like I'm playing on like 150 ms.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point too. It didn't feel any better than the beta for me in terms of responsiveness. Yeah. And our ping has been cut in like 1/6, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. That game...
The gameplay is just not that tight.
It can be saved. It can be saved.
Yeah. But I don't know if they're doing it though.
Yeah. And looking at what they've added to the game since release, like they put in the like grapple guy.
Oh no.
You know what I'm referring to?
It's like Riot Shield plus like the Roadhog hook.
Yeah, it was terrible.
God.
Wait, he has a Riot Shield? There's a Riot Shield in it?
Yes, there's a Riot Shield.
Oh my god. Can we stop putting Riot Shields in FPS games, please?
It really is like the most unfun mechanic to go against. At least like when it's a hero shooter, it's like part of the game mechanics. Riot Shields are just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
Especially when they're like, I don't even know if I would say the one in the finals is good, but there are certain situations where you just lose. There's just nothing you can do. And that's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some, technically, you know, if you use the heavy grapple, it will go through the Riot Shield or whatever. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be counterpicking individual enemies in my finals or Delta Force game. That's just not enjoyable to me. And it's not enjoyable in a hero shooter for me as well, but that's different topic.
I mean, every time us three would play finals and there was a Riot Shielder, all three of us would have to like converge on him from separate directions just to kill him. I don't know. Not a good mechanic, not something I like.
So other games, speaking of the finals, like it's in an okay spot right now, I feel. There are some things in that game that make me want to cry, but for the most part, I'd say my average experience on that game is positive.
You used to not like it, right?
It used to break my heart because it was so close to something that I would love. But I'm just like, it's okay. I enjoy it sometimes. But now they've nerfed a lot of the things that are just like awful. And while they have made some changes that I kind of begrudge, like I'm mixed on the recoil changes.
I need my old AK back. I need it back so fucking bad.
They nerfed the mag on it, right?
Hurts.
Mag and the visual recoil and the long range damage.
Yeah,
it's so
kind of
on Twitter.
It's kind of gutted.
It's your fault, Lara. I guess. I like the scar with the if you take the red dot off and you just use the iron sight, it's kind of clean. It's good for
That
tracking.
part is pretty good.
I think with that game for me, it's like what I know will be good for the game is not what I want the game to be. You know, I want my cool people flying across my screen. I want to shoot them. I want dynamic movement that I can shoot at, you know? Like, sure, the lights can have their dash, let me shoot them. But things like the AK being really good just isn't good for the game because it's the default weapon. People will use it, own with it, and not try any of the new weapons that the devs really, really, really want people to use. Because to most people, they're probably more interesting, you know? Like, there are other games where you can shoot an AK, but there aren't many other games where you can use the variety of weapons that the finals has. And the devs really want people to know that. So the AK is not very good anymore. And I don't see them going back on it because I think it's a smart move. I just really don't like it. Anyway, I just feel like what I want from the game is at odds with what the game is becoming. And that's fine, I guess. I still enjoy it. But, you know.
Yeah, it's how they get you. I agree with you. They have to do what's like good for the player base.
I don't know if I would agree that like if the AK was the best weapon in the game, that everybody would use it. Because like I feel like if Soldier 76 was the best hero in Overwatch, most people would still not want to play him.
Yeah, but that like you don't
like not
spawn on Soldier 76, you know. You
kind of do in the tutorial.
I guess so, but there can only be one Soldier 76. People aren't going to get stuck into the habit of it, I guess, on like a broader scale. I know personally, thinking back to Season 0 and how many people are using the AK back then, when the FCAR was better, compared to the AK now, there's nowhere near as many. I don't get many AK duels anymore. I get what they're going for, but not for me.
Oh, they can fuck right off with that thing that the guy holds the swords up and you can't shoot him. The bullets reflect back.
It's a terrible mechanic.
Bullshit. Makes me actually rage.
How do you two feel about Genji Overwatch? What do you
I don't think we should even invoke his name. People get so mad about Overwatch balance takes. They'll call us branded Hiscam players. We must not speak.
Yeah, I'm not an Overwatch player, so my takes will not be like good probably, and I will get flamed.
However, there is counterplay to his deflect because it's on a cooldown and it has to be like chosen when to be used. The finals, you just press like right click, right? And then you're just invincible to bullets. Like
the finals one is worse. I agree. I also don't like Genji deflect, but anyway.
Do you have to aim the one in the finals? I'm actually not sure.
I don't know. I've never used it.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never used it.
I don't want to.
I just hate it. Yeah, I hate it so much. I don't want it on my screen.
Anyway, I think overall we're still like fairly positive about the finals. It's a game where like your mechanics do matter, and it's a game that is pretty fun on average.
And it's still probably my best game in terms of like my relative skill. So I don't just want to drop it. You know, like
no, I mean, I just said earlier, I
think I'm quite sharp.
I want community nights and stuff for it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I do love the game. Just has a couple.
And then, like the game we mentioned, we hinted at the start of this is Fragpunk. It's a game that was meant to be a tac shooter.
It's
a game. Released a DM mode, and it's like 1,000 times more fun as a non-tac shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just has like really solid deathmatching mechanics. And it would be well, do you two want to talk about it?
You go. I had my ramble.
Okay, well, Fragpunk is a game where you have like these sort of Apex style weapons where when you pull down the weapon, the recoil will still like have the crosshair like basically in the center of the screen. And the bullets will go where the crosshair is. Pretty, cut and dry how it functions. And you just put your crosshair on the enemy. And with like some movement stuff like the jump pads and like the slide, it's a pretty interesting game to engage in combat with. And for a tac shooter, that's a little bit strange. But for like a respawn game mode, it is pretty cool. And the other thing that's interesting about the mechanics is the headshot multiplier. You will 2-tap people at like any range with the AR, and it's like 5 bullets to kill if you shoot body, which is a very interesting skill to index. And I can't think of too many games that encourage headshot tracking to this degree.
I agree.
Outside of like necessitating it in Overwatch, just because like you aren't killing anybody if you don't do that, and like PlanetSide, I guess also had it, but it's a pretty rare thing to demand of your players, and it's a pretty cool skill to index.
It is interesting to me because I've heard people discuss like FPS mechanics as like, okay, where is the complexity placed? You know, is it placed on the weapon with stuff like the recoil patterns in Counter-Strike being very complex, or like the player's movement being tough to compensate for, like, you know, Counter-Strike again with the like bullet sync on your strafes, or is it placed on the enemy, like the finals, where the shooting is really simple, but people can move in complex ways, and that makes shooting hard. This game does both, and I think that is cool and demands a unique skill set. Yeah.
That's well said.
At the same time, though, I do worry about its mainstream appeal because of that.
Yeah, I am surprised that it's taken off to the extent that it has.
Likewise, I saw it was doing really well on like Steam charts, top 10.
Maybe we're in the minority for only liking the DM mode. I feel like it would be a huge whiff to go all in on the attack shooter side of things, unless there's just like some audience for it that I'm not really aware of. Because like the mechanics and the way that you interact with other players in combat is so... Why is the word powerful the only one in my head? It's just interesting and it's satisfying, right?
I agree. I think it's really cool.
If there was a mode like, you know, control points or King of the Hill, or just like things that give you a little bit of an objective to play around to make your frags mean something other than just kill enemy gamers, I don't know. I feel like it would strike a nice little niche.
I don't see it competing with Valorant though, and that's what it feels like it's trying to do.
It's trying.
Yeah.
Doing better than I thought it would, admittedly, but you know, I don't see it lasting if that's its goal. I agree with you, Bingo.
How do you feel about the game so far, JD?
I mean, I'm in the same camp where I've only really played the TDM and the free for all and stuff because I don't like tac FPSs. I don't really play them, so I do like the game. The shooting feels nice. The movement is a little slow for me.
You were mentioning that you were getting kind
of
bored with it earlier.
Yeah, I have about 7 hours, and I don't know. It's because I'm only playing the 2 game modes that I'm probably getting bored quickly. But I don't know. I just feel like a lot of my matches just go the same way every time, and
I agree.
The movement, yeah, like I said, is slow. If it was, I feel like if it was just a tiny bit faster, it'd be really good.
I think
but the shooting is good.
Yeah, the sameness comes from the game modes not encouraging any like intrigue or like different points of interest, and also the maps being very, I don't know, like baby's first source map.
This is something
like
that the finals,
the map size,
like nails, by the way, how dynamic its encounters are.
Yeah, I feel like every finals game is different for the most part.
Unless you're versing like triple heavies with bubbles, they all play about the same.
Yeah, unless you're in OCE where you just play the same people over and over.
Yeah, I feel like if this game could like tap in to some of that like dynamic gameplay encouraged by modes that aren't just TDM, I agree. I feel like there's something here. Maybe if I play the TAC FPS mode, it'll grow on me, but I don't know. I don't think the mechanics are suited. I feel like they're incongruent.
I think part of the issue... Oh, well, how do you feel about COD S&D? Because I feel like it's probably most similar to that.
Oh, that's for JD, not for me.
I used to basically main S&D. It was like all I would play. But for me, again, it got kind of stale. It felt like a lot of the matches would just end up the same thing every time. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask, because I feel like as much as I like it, I kind of get bored with like one life game modes. It's why I don't play a lot of Battle Royale games. I hate having to just spectate.
And that kind of was what I wanted to talk about before, is that there's so much downtime in the tech FPS mode. Because, like, I think the card mechanic in DM is actually pretty good. It's like a perk system now that is impactful and interesting. But in the tech FPS mode, like, while there are some funny things that can happen that will add variety, it also just takes an eon every single round to like pick your cards, to watch they have a final kill cam for every round, which seems really frustrating. To have to just like die, watch your team fail to do anything,
and then you also
pick your cards, like watch the kill cam.
Yeah, that's called S&D in a nutshell. You just get angrier and angrier as the match goes on.
I think they did do a good job with the cards though, which is what gives this game some kind of saving grace for me. I think the synergies are actually really fun, and I had these moments of like, holy shit, if I use this gun with this card, it'll be crazy. And I thought that was really cool. I really like that. It's no Slay the Spire, but it gave me the closest feeling an FPS game has given me, and I think that's really cool. I think there's something here, but they have to do something with it that isn't what they're doing right now. Like, just they need more. That's what I think. I don't think it's just like a slop shooter like people on Twitter are saying, though. I think there's more to this game than people are giving it credit for.
I agree. It's definitely more interesting than something like Shatterline.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of the games that would come out, I don't know. I also feel like X-Defy was kind of soulless, but it doesn't really feel that way.
I liked it. It was a good break from COD. It's a shame that it got killed immediately, basically.
I don't even think that was like the performance of the game's fault. I think that was just like Ubisoft exploding internally. But anyway,
I see.
I thought that game was cool, but mostly from like unintentional stuff, like the movement. JD, you want to talk about this more probably. I thought the movement was really cool in that game.
Yes, I agree. Like a game with like good movement really grabs me. And yeah, X-Defy was good. I think that's why I'm getting a tad bored with Fragpunk already, because I feel like I don't know the movement. I feel like I have bricks strapped to me. Yeah.
How'd you feel about TF2 actually? Going your whole life without playing TF2 is pretty rare, I feel. And I kind of threw you into the deep end in terms of dealing with movement mechanics and stuff.
I mean, I told you, I had a tiny bit of experience on Xbox 360 with the orange box.
That doesn't count.
Okay. Well, I mean,
on Xbox.
Yeah,
you were probably in like 8th grade.
Probably younger. I remember playing it, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was next to the cart. You have to push the cart. It was like Overwatch. And it just felt so slow. And I'm like, "What the fuck is this? I want to go play fucking Portal."
You said it felt slow?
Yeah, it felt slow. But then when I tried
to play MGE, and you would only pick heavy. Slap.
Because I like shooting now and heavy. Yeah, I like target switching now. But when you told me the rocket jump, that shit was cool. I didn't know you could do that.
That was fun.
I probably would have got into TF2 if I had been on PC back in the day and knew that stuff. But oh well, another life.
It's been a while since I've had to teach somebody how to airstrafe.
The tutorial, we spent like 3 hours
as you're in the air, the W key is released, but it took like a solid 20 minutes for you to like grasp the concept.
No, that shit is so foreign to me. I've never played a game where the movement is like that. It's so weird. It felt like when I was back on trying to learn M&K for the first time from movement, and I would use the left side of my controller and a mouse because I couldn't get used to WASD. It was like it's just so foreign. Every other game is like you don't move like that in the air.
It's funny though because it's so intuitive to me that I will do it in other games.
Yeah.
Back to Fragpunk for a moment though. I think that game's got a tiny bit more movement finesse than people realize, and I think people would realize it if they upped the just base speed. Because I think there was one you saw, Pingu, where I juked someone fully who was like full spraying me and they couldn't hit me because of the mid-air movement. Like there's actually a fair bit there, and like moving on the jump pads is really cool, but you can do the same thing on jumps, which I think is awesome. But it's a bit tough to use and doesn't feel entirely intuitive with how slow you're going right now. But that's another reason I think the game has potential.
Also, the
there is a
jump
little bit-
pads are really cool.
Yeah, I really like
It's
those.
why the sand map is my favorite. With the jump pad on the left side.
Yes.
It's weird
And how you
people
can,
don't
like-
take the one in Yord. My main map.
PewDiePie loves Yord.
Do not say that. Yours is my prison.
Tell the story.
I have played maybe, I would say, 40 games of Fragpunk since including beta, and I would say that probably like 28 are in Yord. Escape that stupid husband.
And it's so fucking bad. And it's so bad.
It's like a Halo map if it was bad. But yeah, I love it in the when you take the jump pad, you can like stop your momentum like pretty much instantly.
Yeah.
And change
I do
direction.
like
That's
how
cool.
you can't just brain off arc track as soon as somebody takes a jump pad, because like there's so much mobility that they could have in so many different ways that they could respond to being shot at. Sometimes they just keep
noticed-
going forward, but you can't assume that.
In the finals, I'm very good at like seeing a person on a jump pad, flicking to someone else. The first person is now off of my screen, but I can follow them like through their arc and off screen back to where they would be. In this game, I will just lose them every single time because like they will just not be where I think they are, and then I have to like scan around for them, and it's so slow. It's good though. It's forcing me to adjust, and I like that. I think it's cool. But I don't know. Those moments only really happen when the other team is like engaging with the game in an interesting way. I do feel like there are not as many cheese strats as the finals, but like they don't have to, you know, take the bounce pad and strafe on it or move in interesting ways when on the ground or anything like that. It's not forced upon them, and most of the time people just won't, which kind of sucks, but yeah.
What parts of the game would you consider annoying right now? Like mechanics that you have to interface with?
I don't like the
I can
snipers.
think of 3.
I don't like the
Yep, that's
shotguns.
That fucking nuke
I
card.
don't like the nuke.
Oh my god, stop
Yeah,
picking
yeah.
that, you fucking assholes.
I don't think I'd mind
think
it
the
so
sector
much if
artillery
it
is pretty
wasn't
bad
the final kill every time. Like I'll get a fucking cool play.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I get to watch a cool play. And then it's just someone going like, and then I die.
Exactly.
That's
And I
about
think the
it
sector
though.
artillery is kind of bad too.
Yeah.
It's lasts an eon, instant kills you.
I think it makes sense in the other mode, probably. Like you can just
That's
lock
true.
off a lane,
That's
but
true.
not in DM. It makes no sense in DM.
I was gonna say, you had a pretty rough time with the shotguns in the game that we played.
Oh
JD.
my goodness.
Yeah, the shotties are really annoying if people like just camp a room with them. But I mean, I feel like that's every
That's it.
game basically. I never like shotguns in any game.
You were kind of crazy with them in Apex though.
Yeah, because I couldn't fucking track. So every time there's a shotty, I'm like, I'm taking that. My like only clips in that game are with shotguns.
And I love how the best one of them you couldn't save. So you're seeing it from my POV dead on the floor.
I'm not good at Apex. I never have been. So
I do think it does shotguns the best though. Out of all of the like mainstream shooters right now.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
I don't get that salty when I die to them.
me neither. Old precision
Depends on the
choke was
game for
kind of
me.
frustrating though.
True.
Do you remember that, or you would just get hit for like 180?
I think so, yeah. What gun was it on?
Peacekeeper.
Yeah, then I do remember. That was fucked.
Can't tell if you're getting hit by a PK or a Kraber.
Didn't it have like really good range too? Like it wasn't just like a close quarters
Yeah, with the
thing?
choke, you could actually like slug around people with it. It was disgusting.
Okay, well that aside, I do think Apex the shitty's the best. Discounting when
seems
they
like pretty
break
much
them
fine
in
now.
various ways.
When I see a clip of a shotgun in like almost any game, I'm like,
I click off.
Yeah. But Apex
I don't
is
want
like,
to see
all
this
right.
shit.
Like, I was talking to Strafing Flame actually about like shotgun aim, and there is a lot more nuance to it than in other games, like especially with how complex people's movement is and how he's intentionally like trying to avoid shooting as their strafe. So he will wait for a strafe, pre-aim, like where they will be after the strafe, and then shoot in between their two strafes. And I thought that was cool. I thought it was a nice little bit of like nuance that shotguns don't usually have in games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still don't like it compared to the R9 though.
Back in the day on Black Ops
Yeah.
2 with a KSG, and you had to like actually aim it. Like you actually had to have aim with it. You couldn't just like hip fire shoot it. I guess it was like slugs. I don't know. I thought that was pretty. I have some clips on my YouTube of it. Same with MW3 actually.
I love
I
how
like
you
the-
haven't gone back and unlisted all of those, by the way.
I think I have 2 unlisted videos on my channel. And they're like fully edited like montages with dubstep and all that. I was like, I
so
can't
good.
keep this. Everything else, I'm like, I don't care. You can watch it if you want.
What if YouTube
Those
like goes
reveals
crazy?
on-
What if you get like 500k subs? Would you go back and like clean it up then?
No,
or-
no. That's my fucking history. That I came from those fucking streets, you know? Fucking PS3, Xbox 360, MW2 and all that. I was raised there.
I respect that.
That shit's staying. It is funny though, my YouTube channel, like my first video was like 12 years ago. Every time I see it, I'm like, fuck, I'm old. I remember using Call of Duty Elite app because I didn't have a HD capture card.
I've never heard of Call of Duty Elite app.
I think it was made before you were born.
my youth here.
I haven't heard of it either, to be fair. I was
What? It was like the way you would like make your clans and stuff. I was in a clan back in the day, and you could use it to upload to YouTube, like just like 10-second clips. But
It's actually cool.
it's better than nothing.
It's neat.
Yeah. So you didn't need to buy the Hopage HD PVR, whatever it's called. I asked my parents for it, but they wouldn't get it for me because they didn't want me to like talk to people on the internet, even though I did anyway. But
I was gonna say,
Relax.
for you to be in a clan, wouldn't you have already been talking to people?
yeah, legit. I was in this one clan. It had like actual like boomer men in it. It was like 30-year-old men, and then me. I would carry them every game.
I used to play. My dad got me into a bunch of like RTS games, and
Yeah.
you know the audience for old RTS games. I don't think they knew that I was like 7 years old. There was this one guy who would ask me to 1v1 like every time he would see me online. I didn't like 1v1ing. I just like playing against the bots. But eventually I gave up and eventually 1v1'd him. And it was like kind of close. And he's like, oh, GG's, you're pretty good. I wonder if he knew that I was like 7.
Oh, personally, I wouldn't want to know. If I nearly got beat by a 7-year-old, don't tell me.
No, that's me now. Don't tell me.
Don't tell me.
I'm glad we both have that experience though, of being like way younger than we should have been when like playing with
Yeah,
students.
it's fucking crazy when I think back on
Right?
it. Like, what were my parents thinking? I had that little, like, Jean, you might know this, the little thing that you put in your ear, like that mic. I don't know how to describe it.
Like the
Yeah.
earpiece?
Yeah, I had the earpiece and the chat pad on my fucking controller. And I would like, I would do M2AF, message to all friends, when we would like host custom lobbies and stuff. Yeah.
So long.
I remember you had to pay the 1,600 Microsoft points to get in. I got scammed
Were
so
you
many
like
times.
recording voice memos on
Yeah,
Xbox?
I was like, message to all friends, come join this lobby. Like, imagine I'm like 8 years old, but yeah.
It's just occurred to
What
me.
were my parents doing?
It's just occurred to me that like my mum probably doesn't know that I used to play these RTS games like online, and she watches
God.
these podcasts.
Oh god.
Hi, Mum.
That is really funny.
I do want to ask, like, what's your relationship with COD like now, JD? Because you don't really talk about it too much.
With COD?
Yeah.
Um,
Are you still playing it?
yeah. I mean, I played it earlier today.
Okay.
I love Call of Duty. Nothing scratches my FPS itch like COD. Like nothing gives me that rush of like dopamine where you like get a really cool clip or something or you do well.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel sad because I feel like it's not like how it was, but that also may just be me growing up. Like I've played COD more than half my life. And I do remember like all the times where I would get on, I'd play with heaps of friends and stuff like that. Nowadays I get on, I play by myself for like 2 hours and then I get off. And it's just like, I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's me growing up or if COD has lost some of its like soul. Maybe both, but
I think that's pretty fair. When they have like RX-78 in the skin shop, something is happening.
they got the Mutant Turtles now. Teenage Mutant
my
Ninja Turtles.
god.
4 different bundles, by the way, if you want all of them. And then if you want the rat, that's another 1,100 points.
1,100 for the rat.
The Master Splinter, yeah.
Is it like $100 for the whole like collection?
It would be over 100, yeah.
That's fucked.
But even still, like the microtransaction. I was talking with Sleeping Bunnies earlier today, actually. I don't know. Did any of you play World War II? Like COD World War II?
No, I only played the beta, and it was like
We
pretty
were
normal
talking
in the
about
beta.
the headquarters mode, where you would literally spawn into this headquarters mode, and everyone would be running around. It was like you couldn't like kill anybody, but you would see other people running around and stuff. You could open your supply boxes in front of people. And other people would see what you would get. So if you got like something good, you would leave it open because you'd be like, "Yeah, check this shit out." You know, I got a legendary sniper. But like stuff like that, I don't even mind. The store, I don't really buy anything off it. It's just the actual like gameplay and the SPMM and all that. I think that's the biggest part of the SPMM and the EOMM. Yeah, it's actually quite devious in a bad way. It's not good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Predatory.
Like, I would get, back in the day, I would get on, I could sit down and play 14 hours straight, because I felt like every match was different. You would match with different people every game. Everyone's talking on mic. It was fun. You would, like, find cool people to play with every single day. Nowadays, everyone's chat banned for saying a swear word, so nobody talks. Every game is, like, you verse the same few people, because they're in your SPMM bracket. So it plays the same every time. I don't know. This is not a good question. I could go on and on and on about this.
This is a good question.
I do think you're right that it's like more the game than you. Because
I would agree with
with me and Counter-Strike, I've had to kind of come to terms with the fact that like that's me. It's not the game. It's like it's me, and I'm not enjoying it as much because I used to like hop on with my friends and play for fun. If I'm playing now, it's for fucking background footage in a video, and that's boring. Like, you know, the game is still the same. I have just changed, but like COD has actually changed.
Yeah,
and in a bad way. So I agree with you that it is the game.
it's such a shame as well. I see a lot of people playing Black Ops 2. Like, I see a lot of trick shotters going back to that game and stuff. And I just can't do it in ICE. So it's like I'm kind of stuck on the newest COD. And it like, I don't know.
I was gonna say, like, how do you feel about BO6 versus MW3 now?
MW3 is a better game overall. I like prefer the guns, prefer the maps, prefer the gameplay, the gunplay. Black Ops 6 is not bad. It's just, it's such a shame because there's a good game there, but it's just bogged down by all this bullshit that they put in the game.
Yeah,
I agree.
Okay, that's fair.
It's no Black Ops 3 though. I'll tell you that. That game fucking shredded. Bro. That game is so good.
How many hours?
Oh my god, I need to, after this podcast is done, I need to send you my PS4. The PS4 records your hours played.
So
I need to send you my top 3. Yes, I can see.
Oh my god.
I can tell you I played 2,000 hours of Black Ops 4 in 1 year.
Oh my god.
Yes.
8,760 hours in a year. You're averaging like 5 and a bit hours a day?
Yeah, more than that, I would say. I would play that game and sleep, basically. I had someone on Twitter ask me earlier, are you, because I posted my old setup and you could see my controller and stuff, and he was like, are you actually good on controller? And I'm like, you have no idea how much time I have played on roller.
Do you
Like,
ever
It reminds me of a...
Pardon?
Do you ever go back to it? To controller?
No, not really. No. Oh, well, I mean, I've been playing Nintendo Switch on controller, if that counts, but
No, like
no.
on COD, you know?
No. It doesn't, it's not satisfying. It gets boring very fast. It's not me doing it.
The shade. Controller play.
Oh my god, did you see that? Okay, you might have to cut this. Did you see that Fragpunk video? They need to fix the AA in this game.
Did you see Riley in the comments fucking beefing with this guy?
That's how I saw it.
She sent me that screenshot of her facing this guy in Splitgate like 2 weeks ago, just randomly. He's like, I'm against some person who says he's the #1 Splitgate player, and I'm kind of frying him. And then he shows up on Twitter later, and only halfway through the argument does she realize like this is the same person.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah. There's just a sense of schadenfreude of like they're getting their comeuppance for not having AA in Fragpunk.
Oh, I fucking saw that. I rubbed my hand. I was like a little mosquito. I was rubbing my hands together. I'm like,
I think we've had our Amos's discussion, haven't we? I don't think I need to clarify my...
Yeah.
I don't think no Amos is this good. I just think it's really funny. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I agree.
The rollers, they need the AA. They probably don't need the fucking crazy AA that they have nowadays. Anyway.
Oh, that was so good.
What's the next question?
Talking about the discussion of hours when you mentioned the PS4 thing, it reminded me of something we were talking about the other day, me and Laura, about like what are your most like top 3, top 5 most played games, and how does that differ from your top 3 like favorite games?
Oh god, that's hard.
Does COD take like all 3 of those spots, like different COD games, or do you have like a fallout?
If you need a moment to kind of ponder it, JD, I have, because we talked about this, I have mine basically ready to go.
Yeah, go for it.
My top 5 is Counter-Strike, PUBG, Apex, Fallout 4, The Long Dark. And it's a weird top 5. And like some of them actually would make it onto the favorites list. I think The Long Dark might be my favorite. It's like a survival game with an like emphasis on the survival, but I don't want to spend too long on this game.
I love that game.
I can't get over your like fishing skill, JD. You're so fucking good at fishing in that game.
If there's fishing in a video game, I will fish. Far Cry 5, I probably spend like 25 hours just fishing.
My goat. I think my top 5 would... What would it be? Hang on, I sent this to someone. Let me grab it. Like top 5 favorite. Oh fuck, it was a top 10, but it wasn't ordered. I'm gonna say Long Dark, Slay the Spire, FTL, Doom Eternal, Fallout New Vegas, and Sekiro number 6. So no FPS games on my list.
No FPS is quite staggering. Would you put Kovacs up there?
No.
Really?
What?
No.
Have you ever had any love for it?
Yeah, in the past. I used to really enjoy it. Not really anymore. The community has kind of soured me on it.
Yeah, that's fair. So is there's still like passion for the skill, but less for the trainer? And
yeah, I want to get better. I want to like put more time into it this year and like properly push myself. I think the only FPS to make it into the top 10 for me would be the finals. And that's it.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I think it's good. I enjoyed it a lot.
So that beats every other FPS you've played.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Don't know why I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, I was just thinking,
was
like,
weird
what
to
else is
me.
there? Like, I can't. The Counter-Strike doesn't make it. Fuck that game. Apex, no, I can't. You know, PUBG,
There's
no
just
fucking
too much wrong
chance.
with it.
What else is there? Battlefield, no. COD, no chance. Doom Eternal makes it, actually. Doom Eternal makes it on there. But that doesn't count either. Like, let's be real. That's not what we're talking about here.
My list, my most played games list is very different from my favorite games list.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
Just like strange. My most played games list would definitely be probably all Call of Duty.
Is there
and like
anything
I
else?
said, maybe Skyrim. If I added all my game time together, I actually have no idea how much it would be. It'd be over 1,000 hours.
Do you have more in Skyrim than I do in Fallout?
How much hours do you have in Fallout?
900.
I would think so because I've played it on so many different platforms,
That's
and I've played it
fair.
so many times.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I love that game. It's so good. It's my comfort video game for sure.
That's me with Fallout 4, honestly. And The Long Dark.
Yeah.
Hyped to Elder Scrolls 6, or has it been too long?
No, I'm not, because I'm keeping my expectations in check because I was hyped for the Outer Wilds. Or the Outer Worlds, sorry. And then that game came out and it was that game. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It wasn't bad,
Back to
was
New
it?
Vegas.
It was just like, eh.
It was, yeah.
I know you played that one actually, Pingu, and you haven't played like the Bethesda games.
What?
That one, because I thought it looked really cool. I watched NL play when it came out. I'm like, wow, this actually seems like something I could lose myself in for a while. And it actually made me like not want to play single player games again.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness.
Because I thought like, oh, this is what everybody's pumped up for, and like the Fallout and stuff. Like this, I'm not having fun at all. This is boring.
No, I got so bored.
I would pay you to play Fallout New Vegas on stream for me.
On stream,
even if it's a private stream, like on Discord, just so I could watch.
You have to play that game. It's really good. It's really good.
I think I've watched.
That's rich coming from you because you didn't play it either.
I beat the
game. And I was like, you have to... Yes, you beat it after I told you to play it.
Yeah. So you've converted me.
Yes, and now it's our turn to convert Pingu 5. Please play Fallout New Vegas. Please. So good. But yeah, my top 5 video games. Just off the top of my head, this would probably change if you asked me like any other day. But probably Fallout New Vegas, Skyrim. I love Witcher 3, so that's like 3 RPGs already. The last 2. I would have to put Black Ops 4 there because it I don't know. It was the first COD game.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the first COD game where I was like, yeah, this is probably what I want to do. I'm good at this. People like to watch me.
That's cool.
And then probably a nostalgia pick, maybe like Half-Life or something. I played so much Half-Life when I was young. That or like Return to Castle Wolfenstein or Doom, like the OG Doom. I would just sit and play over and over and over.
Those are good picks. I like that.
Yeah. But I have it's so hard because I have so many games that I love so dearly. But yeah, top 5 is hard when you've played hundreds and hundreds of games.
I agree. I struggled to narrow my top 10 into a top 5, and I struggled with the top 10. So
yeah, there's a lot of like PS2 games and stuff that I love as well.
What about you, Pingu?
Yeah.
My most played games on Steam, which I think does not account for quite a few of them. Number 1 is a game called Team Fortress 2. Then it's I just closed the window. Then it's Warframe, Monster Hunter
Warframe?
World.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising, right? That game consumed my soul.
I didn't know you even played it.
I have 1,800 hours more for it.
Holy
What?
fuck! I didn't know it was that much.
You didn't know that either?
What the hell?
I knew you had a lot. I would have guessed like 800.
Been hiding this from us.
I'm not ashamed of it. I broke the cycle finally. But anyway, then it's Monster Hunter Worlds, a game which like also consumed me. I never played Iceborne. I have 650 hours. I would just repeatedly get people into it, and then once they get to Iceborne, like they would kind of wash out. I'm like, all right, well, wait until I have a new friend to start over with. And then it's Gunfire. And then after that, there's not too many games that I'm like super passionate about. There's Lost Ark here, which is insane because I played that for like what feels like a short amount of time. Terraria, PlanetSide. Okay, put Plants up there. And Gundam.
You keen at all?
How many hours?
But
Monster Hunter or not really?
It sounds really good. People are super positive about it. I just don't know if I want to invite that evil into my life. Because like games like Warframe have showed me that skill plus progression systems is just like a fucking nightmare recipe for me. Okay, and that leads me to the next game that's not on the list, which is Blade and Soul. And that game had like the three-pronged aspect of individual skill, grind, and the social element. And it's very scary, which is why I haven't played the Blade and Soul like re-release, because they can also consume it like that. But that one, it doesn't track hours.
When you first talked to Beachu and you both realized you played Blade and Soul and you just talked about it for like 2 hours straight.
Yeah, it's because I have never met another Blade and Soul player in the wild.
In the wild.
Because MMOs are a kind of weird genre as well, where there are so many people who say they play MMOs and they've never like spent time in an endgame. And I don't want to sound like an elitist. I think it's just true that finishing like the story, I think in most games, maybe it might be different in Final Fantasy 14, but it's basically like the tutorial for the game. and the end game is like whether or not you like the game will be determined. By
You
how
haven't
much you
grinded
enjoy the
like
ending
I've
content.
grinded.
It's not even a grind. I think it's where the grind begins is the end game.
Oh, you're turning Aussie now.
But yeah,
I heard that. That's where the grind
The grind?
begins.
Oh, the grind, mate.
But
sorry, keep going.
Pichu was even more hardcore than me, with both in terms of money spent and like the guilds that she ran with, and like how long she played the game before like deciding like, yeah, it's not enough anymore.
I love how you
Who's the bigger
both
Pokemon fan?
made the spreadsheets as well to like keep track of stuff.
That was insane to me.
Oh my god.
Like I must have like 40 spreadsheets or documents, tutorials, things like that I made for Blade and Soul that will never see the light of day. And like all of my spreadsheeting skill, like I did an interactive coaching document for Laura where it like fills in routines for you. There's a scenario database. You pull in
really
GIFs
good.
that will be part. All of that skill comes from Blade and Soul pretty much. But
You're
yeah,
on another
anyway.
level. That's crazy.
There's gonna be
respect
like one person in the comments who has this exact same experience, and they're gonna be freaking the fuck out.
And it's Pichu apparently.
Yeah.
So another person.
Maybe. The stupidest spreadsheet I ever made was I wanted to see how good I was relative to my gear in solo content. So there's like a, like speedrunning a boss in like a Souls game. You check your time at the end of it or whatever. And I wanted to make sure there was nobody who had a better time than me in any region with less gear than me. So I made this like entire sheet of every person who played my class on this piece of content. And I put in like a search function to like if I saw somebody, I could pull up their profile on like the side of the spreadsheet, and it would fill in with like their profile.
You're
picture and stuff.
psychotic.
You're fucking insane.
It was all for like a small ego trip that meant nothing at all, because like I was the only person who actually took the time seriously.
Was there anyone faster?
Imagine.
Of course not. No.
Yeah. Imagine you died. There's like some cop going through your PC, and they're like, "Holy shit! The Excel spreadsheets. What do these mean?"
Damn, this bitch is goated at Blatant Soul.
Let's see. What other game that wouldn't be on
Does that
Steam?
game make your top 5 favorites, actually?
It's difficult because that would be like saying, like, I was trying to make an analogy to like the phasmophobia or something like that, because it's driven by your experiences with it, which is driven by the other people you interacted with. So it is by far the most influential game I've ever played, except for maybe TF2. No, I think it is by far the most influential game in terms of like how it's affected me as a person. I don't think I'd be doing content at all if not for Blood and Soul.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
kind of
guess
where I
I've
found
had
my
a
voice.
similar experience with Counter-Strike, and I don't know. Like I don't think that like puts it above classification, you know? And
That's
PUBG,
true, but I
actually.
still do adore the mechanics of that game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
something
mine
that
is
me and
COD. That's why I have
B.
such a soft spot for it, even though it's kind of shit nowadays.
Something that me and B keep telling each other is like, whenever we talk about a game, like, "Oh, did you play this?" And they're like, "No, I'm too spoiled by Blood and Soul." Like, there are elements of that game's combat systems that are just not present in other MMOs that made it so visceral and so like individually skillful. I loved the idea that you could do twice somebody's damage just purely by your class knowledge and like your inputs. Mechanical skill like made a difference, and the fact that I could grind it was like so cool to me.
So they
Anyway,
just like
other
super
games that wouldn't.
outscale people if you like grinded and were.
Yeah.
I fuck with that.
Me too.
I have a story where somebody asked me to do their like daily quest for them on their character, and he realized that I had there's something called damage parses, which is basically like Kovacs run, check your scores. And he realized I did one because I had like changed some small elements of his class to be like all into offense. And he's like, "All right, what'd you get?" And I had like I would say like 15% higher damage value than him. And he was like pissed because 15% in a game like that is like a few hundred hours of grinding for better gear.
That's very good,
So
actually. I like that.
I sent him onto the grind for like the next 6 hours until he got a run that was like comparable to mine, which was cool too. But anyway, other games that wouldn't be on Steam would be Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
I probably have enough time in Sapphire, Diamond, and Fire Red, I guess, to make it on this list. I'm still very passionate about that franchise. If you watch the 6-hour VOD of us watching clips, I made us play Pokidoku at some point. And Bomb Party, which is it's a funny word game. If you've seen my Dactyl Maniform video, that's the one that's in the background of the battle scene. And that's the game I probably had the highest relative skill in to the community.
That's cool.
You did by
which is
typing
kind
up
of
the
sad.
No, it's cool. And I do like when like people, because we have a Discord bot in the Raw Input server that is just that game, but in a Discord bot.
Mm-hmm.
And like every time someone will like try and do it, and they'll say like, "Oh, you're too quick," or like you're typing the words too fast, or "How are you thinking of these words?"
You're cheating.
I have got cheating accusations, which is very funny.
Are you serious?
Yeah, in our own Discord. That same friend who I did the damage parse for.
Yeah.
The first time we had ever met was on Bomb Party. Actually, we went through a mutual friend in TF2, and he was so convinced that I was cheating that he started cheating and then lost anyway.
It does seem like the kind of game where like you can't cheat against someone who's like just that much better than you, because you got to be really quick, right? And you got to remember the words that have already been said.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny though. Cheating and losing. Bomb Party.
It's hard to place that game in my top 10 though, because that was another game that was very, influential to my direction as a person. I wouldn't have played OS if not for that game. I wouldn't have played TF2 if not for that game. And that's like the butterfly effect begins there. I guess I would put it in my top 5 because I still really enjoy just hopping on the channel every now and again. So that one, I would say Blade and Soul makes it there. I think TF2 makes it. Warframe does not. There are elements of that. I still think it's a good game, which is kind of shocking for a game that's like so grind driven. But yeah, I don't know. This is too much I don't like about it. I would say Monster Hunter World makes it there. Then it might be Slay the Spire.
Nice.
Oh, Gundam. Fuck.
Over Isaac?
For sure over Isaac. I really like Isaac. To watch, that game has gone through like an insane amount of content bloat.
Yeah.
40 million pills that don't fucking do anything. 16 different items that just make your tears spin around you in weird ways. Like, if I was extending it to 10, like Gundam would definitely be there. I don't know. Maybe it might even be in the top 5, but I think Spelunky would make it there too. FTL would make it. And then...
So there's a fair bit of overlap between your most played and your top 10 then.
Yeah, actually.
There's like none for me.
How many hours do you have in Gunfire? Sorry, I'm just curious.
500 something.
Oh, okay. I thought it would be higher.
Me too.
Okay. I played it since release, so for like the first time I played it for the 100 hours was like a roguelite. And then it only became an aimer game, like somewhere in the 300s. There's one more I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, Apex. Apex would also be in my top 5 most played. And it's definitely not making my top 5 favorite. Not even close.
I think I like it more than you do these days, and I have more hours than you, right?
I think so.
1,000?
1,000.
20.
There are still elements of that game's mechanics I'm passionate about, but I just cannot stomach playing it in the way that it's packaged right now.
I think I told you.
I remember playing it when it came out. On the first day it came out on
really?
PS4.
Yeah. What'd you think?
And I was like, what the fuck is this? I want to go back to Blackout. Why does it take so long to kill anybody?
I fucking love that game's mechanics, and I like thinking about that game's mechanics and how I could get better at them, how other people could get better at them. I'm coaching Strafing Flame again. I'm so excited for it. Like, genuinely, it's gonna be so much fun. But playing it, no.
That's close to where I'm at as well, where I love watching it. I love watching people be good at it. I love thinking about it. Playing it, I'd rather. I was gonna say eat glass. That might be a bit far.
I like playing it with you, Laura. I don't know about playing it just in general.
That was fun.
I think for friends it can be fun, yeah.
Yeah. I feel similarly about Overwatch, where like I wish I enjoyed playing that game, but I just don't.
Me with Valorant, because it does so well with content.
Same.
Fuck that game.
That actually kind of leads into a question that Riley asked.
Yeah.
If you don't mind switching topics. Where,
yeah, go for it.
She said, any games you wish you had played / gotten into that now feel like it's too late / impossible?
Oh my god.
A lot.
This is such an OCE coded question. Literally every game ever, basically.
Yeah.
If you don't play it in the first week it's out, you're never going to play it again.
I have a lot of games where like I wish I could go back to when they were released with my current level of mechanical skill. I feel like I'd be, quite powerful in a lot of like older shooters or just stuff I kind of missed. Yeah. Vanguard's one of them for me, actually.
Yeah.
I think BF4 is a big one for you, right?
BF4, yeah. And Gundam. I miss Gundam. Like I was too late. And Australian, too Australian.
Someone said I like committed a sin by not playing TF2 multiplayer, and I'm like, I was on PS4 at the time.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah, Titanfall. Sorry. Yeah. I was like, oh, I was on PS4 at the time, and it was probably dead by the time I played it. So, but yeah,
That game
Just wanna
has
kind
a
of miss out on
stubborn
as well.
community, though.
It does.
I didn't miss it. I still wish I played it more, though. I played it. My IRLs fucking love that game. Actually, that was like the one kind of like techie FPS mechanically that they really liked. They would alternate between that and Siege, and I'm like, please, can we play Titanfall, guys? Yeah, that was a good time. I have good memories of that game.
I beat the Gauntlet in single player.
Nice.
That shit was hard. I had to get that achievement. Took me quite a while.
Was that on PlayStation?
Yeah.
That's cool. What the fuck? I don't remember how tough like the hardest time is, but I feel like that would be tough on controller.
Did you ever do Mile High Club on COD 4?
No.
I have a video of me doing it on controller. It was hard as well. It took me all day.
Anyway, sorry. Enough about my answer. Back to the question. What are the games for you two that you feel like you've missed?
I think it's a tough one for me to say this with certainty. But there is a part of me that regrets picking TF2 over CS. I don't know how many people are going to share this sentiment where like I love movement shooters to death and I love tracking and high TTK stuff, but things would be so much easier if I just really liked Valorant. You know,
well,
like
I
both
did
meeting
pick
people.
Counter-Strike over TF2.
That's
and
what I was
still
thinking
don't
too.
like Valorant.
Okay. So it might be something with the way that we're wired. It's just like
we're doomed,
just
basically.
not suited to play that forever.
I'm not I don't mind too much that I got into Call of Duty and stuff. Obviously, if I got into Counter-Strike or like Valorant or something, but I didn't have a PC at the time, so like there was no way that I could have anyway. You showed me in the stage the other day, June. You showed me the like Battlefield 4 gameplay. That should look really fun. I wish I got into that.
It is really cool.
Yeah, that would be so up my alley, just doing the crazy movement tech and stuff.
And then the fact you can chain it into TSs as well.
Yes, that would have been literally my game. But I remember I had the game on PS4 and I just didn't. I don't know. Every match I was just kind of bored, so I was like, I'm going back to COD. You know, if I had it on PC and I was good at PC, that probably would have been my main game. But
it's cool.
Yeah. I'm not like I don't have too much regrets when it comes to what I should have played because I just couldn't at the time.
Interesting mentality. I don't really share it. I'm like, fuck, I should have known. Yours is much smarter, but you know.
Yeah, sorry, well, I mean, I couldn't. I didn't have a PC.
It's cool to me that in BF4, like obviously none of that movement tech really existed. Like there was the air control, and there was like to some extent people probably figured out pretty fast that you can slide if you don't like touch your movement keys after a jump. But one of the main movement techs is called like the Ruzu, where you like kick off a wall and you go flying. And that only was discovered like a couple of years ago.
I was gonna say, like that was
very old.
Game came out in 2012,
really cool.
So it could have been a decade after the game launched.
To me, that is so fucking cool.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's not just that. There is like even more tech that was discovered like 2 months ago that we saw in like the raw input clip submission thing. Someone did like a Mario jump that like didn't exist a year ago.
The same thing is happening with Titanfall, I believe, or has been happening, where like there is so much depth to that game's movement and how it deviates from conventional Source Engine like movement stuff that people are still just figuring out stuff like, oh, I watched a really good video about this. I will find it and I will put it on screen or something that talked about how like pressing a movement key when you're on a wall was like this huge movement tech revelation or something. And it seemed like super basic, but no one was doing it. And like, I don't know. I find that stuff super cool. And the fact that we had it in like a multiplayer comp FPS, big fan. Big fan.
Yeah. I mean, all my favorite like Call of Duties all had like movement stuff you could do. That was like
Yeah,
not the
you're a
norm. And
Black
you had
Ops
to
3
practice it.
gamer, so
Black Ops 3, the G slide. Oof. Oof. I knew every single flank route on every map where you could like ride against the wall and get out behind them and stuff. Oh my god. Fuck, I love that game. Bring it back. Anyway,
I'll
sorry.
give a shout out to Apex's movement for still carrying the torch in that regard. Because like when I played, I remember seeing Asu do a wall bounce and then hopping into the training room for the next like 5 hours. That shit was so cool to me. And now it's like the most basic movement tech. Now there's like wall running and there's like fatigue jumps, there's mantle jumps, you know, all this other stuff. I mean, it's cool that people are still finding these new things.
This is only tangentially related. Do you feel like there is an audience for this kind of game? Like movement shooters generally, competitive movement shooters more specifically? Because I see a lot of people talk about Titanfall and games like Doom Eternal or Ultra Kill doing really well and having like, these cult followings. Do you think games like should lean into this more? Like movement as a mechanic instead of just a method of traversal or, you know?
What's the last game that came out that was like really heavy movement focused? That was also FPS.
Apex.
I want to say Apex, yeah.
And how long ago was
and
that?
Even
Like
that,
2019.
That's not even like traversal for the most part.
Well, that's also cool to me because Apex is like in-fight movement, and I really like that.
Right, I agree. I really begrudge people who say that Apex is dumbed down Titanfall movement because it's really not. There's like so many like micro interactions that Apex movement is relevant to, as opposed to like primarily traversal and Titanfall, which is cool too.
Yeah, I think they're both really cool, but they're definitely different, and I don't think one is like more basic or beginner friendly or whatever.
Right. But what I was gonna say was that I think that people love the feeling of like going fast and doing satisfying movement stuff, but it has to have like a low enough skill floor for it to be accessible. And Apex is kind of like that weird exception where everything is kind of hard aside from sliding down a hill, and most people don't even interface with it. So I'm curious, like, why did that happen? Why is it such a popular game? I guess it's everything else, and movement is kind of like something optional.
I also think like a lot of the player base can't really interface with it as well. As you know, like it is doable in controller. It's a lot harder on controller from what I understand. Stuff like super gliding or very fancy, like what's it called? The zip jump, like what? But it's not the regular zip jump. It's where you like come off of the ledge and do like a super zip jump.
The mantle jump.
Mantle jump, yes. I feel like that stuff is just so much harder to interface on controller that the average person in like, you know, lower SPMM lobbies isn't going to be doing it. They might not have even seen it. So I don't really know how much of a factor movement is in that game.
I agree.
I agree with
to
you.
Its success. I guess the fact that it's like, I don't want to say it's not that good or important, but the fact that you can succeed without being good
it's not mandatory.
Right. Whereas in Titanfall, like you're going to be dead weight in like CTF or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's tricky. It's been so long since we've seen a movement shooter that is like where movement is like a core skill and has been popular, that it's hard to really make any claims about whether or not it could succeed again.
I feel like it could. I don't know why. I feel like there is this desire to have cool movement, even if it isn't skillful. But you know, there are ways to make it accessible, like Titanfall, where the wall running feels cool, isn't that hard to perform, and there's a lot more depth under it. But not too much depth that it will scare off the average player. Although, if you're bad at Titanfall and you're a good player, you will get fucking destroyed.
Right.
Oh, I should ask Moki about this. I wonder what he'd think.
I'm curious too. I don't know. It's a tricky question.
I don't think I know enough about the intricacies of either game to properly, I don't know, evaluate how much of an impact movement has had.
I think, yeah, that philosophy of like having it be accessible, feel cool, but have a ton of depth underneath it is the way it could succeed. But even
Yeah.
still, like, we just haven't seen it happen. So it's hard to say.
What was your favorite like game for movement, JD? Like FPS for movement?
Oh, Black Ops 3 easily.
Nice.
It just had everything.
That
It
was
a
the wall
jetpack
running,
game.
yeah? Yeah.
Wall running, it had double jump, it had jetpacks. You could outplay people so hard if you knew the movement. Just so good. But I feel like they're not gonna bring it back. They're so hell bent on getting the noobs nowadays to like stay with the game and stuff that if someone gets like wall run into a double jump jetpack, they're gonna leave the game and never come back.
And you don't reckon there's a way that they can get like both, or
If they would just fucking chill out, then sure. Like people will still stay with the game. It's just they're so scared to lose the noob players that they cater to them at every step. But yeah. Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, those Call of Duties. I love that movement. I love Halo movement.
Halo movement.
Apparently,
Which Halo?
I just love Halo Reach, Halo 3. I guess with Halo Reach you had to pick the different abilities up, but you still had the option if you wanted to like jetpack across the map, you could, It wasn't just like everyone's just locked to the same like shitty movement.
How do you feel about the sentiment that the reason that games like Quake died is because players these days don't want to spend time getting good at FPS games?
It's tough. I think players are conditioned to not feel the need to spend time to get good. But I definitely do think, and aim training has showed this to me actually, there are a lot of people who are willing to put in a lot of time to like get better and improve at super niche parts of the skill set, right? Like people are isolating like to fucking crazy levels through aim training. I don't see a way that like there wouldn't be an audience for an arena shooter.
I agree, but like I've seen the other side of like the very casual audience, and it's just like if people don't have shit handed to them, like if they don't get on and immediately do well, they'll get off the game and go back to whatever they were playing.
Yeah, I definitely don't think there could be like a COD arena shooter in the conventional sense of the term, but I think there could be, like a finals one. I think that kind of audience cult following could exist, and I don't know. I don't see anything that would bar it from existing.
But I feel like it would also go the route of like, or the route of like, it would have its like little player base, but then it wouldn't. I don't know. It wouldn't be that popular, but it would have the same players,
But I just feel like there's more of those like right now.
Like
arena shooters, I don't know, what would they have concurrently? Like a couple hundred? I think it could be more like a couple tens of thousands based on the amount of people I think who would be willing to put in the time to play the game a lot and get good at it.
Yeah.
As for why it's not, I think the games just aren't that appealing, or they're really hard to get into.
Say that I don't like this argument very much, partially because we don't have any like data. Nobody has done it well.
Yeah.
Every arena shooter that's come out is like, hey guys, it's Quake Live, but we're on another engine. So like
what if it was Quake Live, but we're on a worse engine, like Quake Champion?
Yo.
Yeah, I think if there were diverse enough skill sets, because like games like Overwatch and Valorant did get very popular despite being so mechanically demanding.
Yeah, I
because
agree.
there were enough things for people to get attached to.
And like it's okay to be bad at those games. I feel like there's this sentiment that it's not okay to be bad at arena shooters. And that existing scares a lot of people off who otherwise would be quite keen. Whereas, if someone's bronze in Valorant, they're bronze in Valorant, okay? There are like 5,000 other bronze players queuing right now for you to verse. Like, go crazy.
I think I agree with you too.
I guess it would just have to be a good game, and I think streamability is something that AFPS has kind of been missing. And when you look at like what games have done really well recently, they've all been pretty streamable, or at least content led. So yeah, I mean, just thinking about battle royales, like they are so good for streaming.
Yeah.
AFPSs don't really have that same feel, so they're kind of nerfed in that regard. Like if one were to come out like today.
That's true.
It's really hard to
Especially-
appeal to everyone, basically.
I agree.
I don't know. I'd have to think more about it because I do think it could be larger than what it is. I don't think it could ever be like Valorant, but you know, I think there's potential for more.
I think the finals could have been something. That's a great
so
example.
too.
If they didn't fumble the release so hard, I think that game could have been like quite large.
Yeah.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Fragpunk. It's so strange to me that it's doing like this well.
Yeah. I think
I feel in a
finals
week's
still has
time, I
like
feel like
kicking
it's gonna
power.
jump off.
You're probably
I don't
right.
know. I want it to succeed. Don't get me wrong. I just
I agree
don't
that
think
there's
it
just
will.
not enough right now. There's a lot of novelty that's
Yeah.
driving it. New game modes that are interesting would probably do it. Unless there's like a whole tech FPS side that we're not aware of, because like I don't think anybody who's in our community is like super keen on the tech FPS
There's like
mode.
2 people who kind of like it.
Okay. Do you want to talk peripherals for a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. You want to finish that thought?
Yes, the thought was just like, I think the finals isn't like done yet. I think the devs strike me as quite committed. I think the game has a lot of staying power, and it's got this cult following, which is like determined to keep it alive, which I think is really cool. I think the game can come back. I've seen crazier comeback stories. So
yeah, I hope it has a resurgence. Like I said, I really love that game. I think it's very fun. So it deserves it.
yeah.
We'll single-handedly revive it
guys-
with the game nights.
True.
Yes.
10 players at a time.
Hell yeah. We got it.
Eventually we'll build to 1 million. 10 at a time.
Yeah.
I think that's all I've got to add there, though.
All right. Well.
So yeah, peripherals.
Yeah.
Have we? First question would be like, what do we have on the way? And then the second would be like things we're looking forward to, and then things that we're currently trying.
So today is a big day. Today is the release of the Artisan Dot.
Yes.
After this podcast, I'm going to make a tweet about it. I'm scared I'm going to like sell them out because I've been hyping it so much.
You sold them out by buying them all. You said you were going to buy like, what, 6 packs or something?
I ended up buying 4 packs, yeah.
Okay. Well, there goes my chance of getting any.
They got more than 4.
I think between the podcast, the streams, and like the YouTube comment answers, like I guess we have done a lot of damage or we've like built a lot of aura for these artisan dots, right?
And then like
I remember
the
I wrote
person, Ricky, who got to try them, also was like hyping them up on Twitter, so people know I'm not just like insane.
Yeah.
I've hyped them up a little bit as well. Like, they're honestly really good. Except on glass.
They
If you
are
use glass, don't
like
use them.
just that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Use cloth though. Get them.
I've said this to Pingu before, but it's crazy how like Artisan just like, oh, you know, let's make a glass adjacent mouse pad. Oh, it's the best. Oh, let's make mouse skates. Oh, they're the best. It's fucking crazy.
Even the like brush is like outperforming the other brushes.
They sent me a brush the last time. They sent me a bunch of mouse pads, and it's just like the best brush I've ever used for mouse pads for no reason. Like, where did they get this tech from?
But like a brush to like clean them? Clean the mouse
and
pads?
it's really good.
I love that. I fuck with that.
Anyway,
Did you see J-Wolf's tweet about the
That was so fucking
God.
funny.
It was so funny.
Can you get it up and read it out?
G-Wolves is grokked out of their mind. I refuse to believe that there's a human writing these tweets.
You
Like,
did you see the replies?
Oh, were they?
It was, oh my god, I can't even like make them up on the spot. It was too good. It was too clever. It was obviously like some technical difficulties with the English translation, and then just yeah. It was good. You can show them.
I liked your initial reply to that tweet when you saw it, JD. Like, yeah, that's cool and all, but can you ship my mouse, please?
Yeah, I would really love to receive my mouse. It's been in New Jersey for like a week. Cool accent and all, but I would love to actually use my mouse.
I guess that would be the first on the list then of mice to talk about, which we have on the way.
Very smooth transition. Well done.
Yeah,
It's the HTS Ultra, right? Yeah.
Laura
it's
and
my birthday gift.
Yeah. And it's taken like a
spoiled.
month and a half to arrive.
Yeah,
we spent
but
the
that's
whole
okay.
month celebrating Lunar New Year.
Yeah, the Chinese New Year. It was stuck in China, now it's stuck in New Jersey. It's alright though.
I don't know how the fuck it got there. Like, it should go to New Jersey.
Wait, that's a good point.
I'm
Why
sure New
was it going
Jersey's
to the
nice.
US? And not even like just the US, the East Coast.
I have no idea.
Yeah. That's alright though. I'm sure it'll come to Australia next, maybe.
Have you ever had a package go to the East Coast before?
Can I talk about
sense?
since I mentioned Fragpunk actually. I sent him an Artisan Zero 2.5 years ago. I think it was the first time I coached him, so 2023. I sent him an Artisan Zero because he was trying to get off class, and we were both like patiently awaiting the arrival of the package, and it just never got there. And I'm so happy he didn't think I was just like lying and not sending him the pad. It arrived. It's back here. Like the other day, the package is fucking ruined. I was able to, I'm like, what's this package? Oh, there's a hole in it. I'll reach in and see what's in there. And it's the same Zero, relatively untouched actually. I can't get rid of them. These artisan pads are like fucking boomerangs. I send them away, they just come back to my door. And I want to know, like, where has this mouse pad been? Like, how has it been gone for 2 years?
Must be crazy. It's probably like sitting in a warehouse for ages.
I like to imagine it's seen the world, gone traveling.
Yeah. It's seen New Jersey, probably. All my fucking packages are there.
Anyway, sorry, I wanted to mention that because I think it's really funny.
No, it's so funny. What else did we order today?
A lot, actually. I got...
Yeah, it was kind of like a random peripheral day.
Yeah, Matty said to me, like, oh, you should try the Infinity Mouse Speed. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'll buy that one. And then you mentioned the Neptune, and then...
You mentioned the Neptune.
I thought... No, you mentioned the other one, which we didn't get.
People keep saying... Yeah, you're like, people keep saying that this pad is really good, I should try it. And I might as well just like have a frame of reference. And I'm like, okay, fast mouse pad, cloth. I miss my desk mat so much. I'll pay you the difference.
And then you didn't. It's a birthday gift now.
And then I didn't. Thank you.
And then sleeve, more skates, right? And
yeah, so the sleeve was the... And you also got a mouse pad from Artisan, right?
K83.
Just because, like, the shipping cost for just skates is ridiculous.
God, it was fucked.
You have to soften the blow with the mouse pad.
I could just sell the mouse pad if, like, you know, I know I don't need it, but...
I don't know, there's only about, like, 17,000 mouse pads in front of me in this room. There's no table here anymore. This table seats... 6 people, probably. Like, it could be 8, and it's all mouse pad.
We could probably, like, put 5 layers of mouse pads across that whole table.
Yeah. Anyway, so the skates. Oh, first of all, the sleeve is the Pulsar one, because, like, I feel like when people ask me about sleeves, I have opinions about them, but none of them are very popular. So I thought it might as well be time to try to see what the hype's about.
And even
And
if
the
you don't like
skates,
it, it'll be good to like compare. Like,
exactly, yeah. I can tell people like, yeah, it doesn't work, but this pad or this pad
yeah,
works when you rotate it 14 degrees on a Tuesday. And the skates that I got were one I had never heard of. So the core pads were used to be like one of the main aftermarket skates, but I've kind of like fallen out of favor a little bit. They're a bit slower than the other popular options for PTFE these days. But they had a version of a skate that I'd never seen before called the Core Pad Airs. And the idea behind them is that it's kind of like an inverse golf ball where it has a bunch of like tiny dots. Well, not that small actually. They're pretty like noticeably they're visible. That protrude out of the skate. So I don't know. I think it could be interesting to have that sort of like texture
I can't even
as well
imagine
as
it.
that like. I don't know if it would be different than having like a fuck ton of dot skates because I guess it would be smaller. But
And if you press down, there's like more skate.
yeah, that's true. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting enough to talk about if it's good. The person who sold me on them said they have used it for like 100 hours or 100 days, maybe it was, and it still feels quite consistent. So that was promising. And yeah, I just thought it was an interesting idea. I wanted to give it a go.
I mean, I guess if you really like them, it's kind of like the old Shirinkai where like, okay, I've used this. I'm going to wear it down to the point where it's just a flat skate now. What's that like? It's like taking the coating off the Shirinkai.
You get a new skate out of it.
Good value. And you had some mouse stuff you wanted to talk about as well, yeah?
I did want to show off some. So do you want to set up your scene?
Yeah. Hang on.
You gonna do some IRL video shit right now?
Okay.
Hell yeah. I see that, Seal.
This is my acoustic phone. But I've been testing a few mice lately. I've not actually been playing that much, but I've just had a few mice that I've been wanting to give a try. Maybe talk about on the channel, maybe not. But the first one is the Pulsar ES. This is the Pulsar's beta mouse. That's like not out yet, but it's their take on a fingertip mouse. And it's 43 grams. This thing is really chunky, really heavy for a fingertip mouse. And I think I don't remember his name exactly. It might be like GNOPE. He made a video about a gripless mouse, and which was really good. You should watch it, by the way. He made a point about it where it's like, this is kind of like testing the beta of a multiplayer game, but none of like the balancing is in the game yet. Because like, how can we know how it performs at a lower weight if we are getting a 42-gram version of it? Do we know if the size will creak? Do we just like, we can't really form an opinion of it. And I think that's quite fair. However, I will say that if it is as stable and as good and perform as well, this shape is pretty interesting. I could see it being like the GPX of fingertip mice, where it's like the default option that you recommend people because it's safe, kind of large, more sort of medium-sized mouse. And it's very inoffensive. You can really grip it in a lot of ways. I appreciate the subtle curvature, but mine does not like track on a mouse pad very well, so I can't fully have an opinion on it yet.
I like the aesthetic of it. Looks cool.
I do too. I think it's cool that I've been calling these sorts of mice half mice for a long time, and this one is like a proper half mouse.
And it's cool that it's good too. Like it's just that idea kind of done logically.
Yeah. I was gonna say can we talk about what you did to the ponage Trinity?
Yes, we can.
What did you do?
Okay, so that mouse had a bit of a weight balancing issue, and then Laura realized
I just
that the
picked it up and had like a visceral reaction of like, ew, what the fuck is this?
Laura had an epiphany, and it's like, the battery is big and all the way in the back of the mouse. So the result of that is just a really back-heavy mouse that just carried way too much momentum. And it got me thinking about another mouse that I really liked in the past, or I thought had potential. was the Dharma Shark M3 Micro. And if I hold in the center now, it's pretty much level, and that's with no battery. This battery was like 7 grams for a mouse that is tiny. Like, this is comparable to the HSK Pro size. And I still don't really like it. I don't know why. It's okay, but I'm not performing that well. But I haven't been playing that well recently anyway, so it's kind of hard to say where exactly it comes from.
Lying through your teeth.
I guess we also I'll talk about that after. So I did the same to this HSK. This poor HSK also has no battery in it, even though it's like 2 grams. It's actually really well optimized. So remove the side buttons. But for other mice, testing, it's the KPU. This is the Kaisona Uranus, and it's a true KPU clone. So Lucome Pure Ultra was a really divisive ergonomic shape that had kind of a cult following. You either loved it or hated it. But to me, it was like the best ergonomic mouse for aiming, at least for my grip. It felt like it struck a really nice balance between comfort and performance. And I can't really put my finger onto why. Maybe it just like lets my pinky be very active with the way that the curvature is here. It's very sharp. And it's also got this thumb groove. But for some reason, Rockhat kept releasing versions of the KPU that were just like not correct. They would just like flatten out things to try to make the safe shaper, which made it so like nobody liked it. But this random Chinese company named Kaisona has released a true KPU clone, and it's like 40 something, maybe 50 something grams. It's not bad. It definitely feels a bit bulky to me, but I've been using, this, so I think that's pretty fair. But I've played like surprisingly well with it. I kind of still like this shape, and I think that because it's like really, really cheap. I don't remember the exact price, but it's like under 50. Actually, a very solid budget option. If this sort of shape appeals to you. If you curl your pinky like me, I think you may enjoy this kind of mouse.
KPU was one of the like OG Curvex player mice. Like a bunch of old top players like Scoozy, Ralex, they all used it and had like world records on everything. They were like the Matties of their days. So yeah, it was very popular. It's cool to see it back. I haven't seen it since.
I've enjoyed it.
I also don't like it that
and
much.
The last
but,
mouse is this.
Oh my god, what the fuck
This is the one
does
where the
that
guy
trigger your
had me
arachnophobia?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
It does look like a fucking spider.
Does it not? It's fucked up.
June, you're holding a huntsman spider. Let go.
Look how natural it is in the hand.
It's pretty cool, actually.
It is like pretty well thought out. Even though it looks so strange and skeletal, like it's not that weird to hold. The only question would be is like if such an aggressive ergonomic shape is good for aiming. And I haven't really determined that yet. For some reason, the way that the two halves of the HSK PCB work, they just aren't communicating, so I can't click. But I did get a funny peripheral, which is like half of a Wooding, that lets me do double keystrokes, so I can kind of still play the game with no mouse buttons. But yeah, it's a cool project. I will definitely make a video on this one. May or may not with this one. I don't think I will for the KPU unless I end up like using it more and really liking it. And the X2F, I don't know. This one has been talked about a lot at this point, and mine just doesn't function well enough for me to be like confident in my opinions. However, I do think that if they did maintain this shape, it will be a very safe option to recommend in the future. So yeah, that's what.
What about the seal?
Right mousepad, bit high on the dynamic friction. I guess the static friction is also pretty high too, but it's surprisingly balanced.
Looks comfy.
And then for upcoming mice, is there anything that have been enticing, interesting?
I'm OP1. I'm happy with this. I don't feel the need to try anything else. The WL mouse Ying is interesting because it's an OP1. I'm waiting for patch 2 and then I'll probably pick one up. I've had a bit of time with the Pointed Surety, which I hated, Pulsar Crazy Light, which I liked, and I didn't like the shape, so that was weird. And then the HTS Ultra, which I also really liked, and I'll be making a video discussing soon. TM means like 2 months. So yeah,
You found your own game. That's crazy.
yeah, I do not need to buy another mouse. I feel no pull to, unless people like really ask me. I don't know. If I want a new mouse for like myself, I will pay someone to like mod my OP1 to be like 35 grams or something. So
But you still find it like fun to try, right? Or at least the curiosity.
Yeah. But like in terms of like looking for a new main, no.
The HTX Mini has kind of thrown a wrench into what I thought I wanted out of a mouse. Because that one is close enough. Like the middle ground between fingertip and claw in terms of mouse shapes has become like a really interesting niche to me. Which leads me nicely into the WL mouse MattyOW. Which is like a very flat, very small mouse that is magnesium like the Beast X, and also has me pretty interested for the same reason that the HTX Mini and the M3 Micro is. It's kind of that middle ground between, a small mouse and a fingertip mouse.
Did you link that one to me, JD, the other day?
I might
it's in the
have.
GC.
Yeah, because it's got cats on it.
It said it was
Right. Well, I linked it to you know who, and I was like, "This is your type of mouse."
Are you interested in it at all? Or?
No, no. I'm just on my Beast X until my other mouse arrives, and then that'll probably be my new main, and then I'm fine. I like trying new stuff, but I don't know. I just
pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and I don't need to spend $200 every week. I'll be homeless. I need you people to watch my YouTube videos more before I can do that.
Need to get those review samples.
Yeah. Like the controller.
Oh no.
Anyway.
The other mouse, actually, I wanted to mention, because it's been a long time since we've done a podcast. I don't think it was announced last time. The new G-Wolves HSK.
Yeah,
they're releasing.
What's up with that one? Because I know nothing.
First of all, they're like, guys, we just made a 15-gram mouse. Is this illegal? Should we fire our weight officer or whatever?
Yeah.
Guys, we just created up a 9-gram mouse. I don't know. They're making some absurd claims, but it is G-Wolves, so they tend to actually like deliver on their promises for some things.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever pulled a final mouse and just like flat out lied about the weight of a mouse. So
at least when it's come into production, they'll have like a real figure, and that seems to be what's happening here, where it's like 22 grams maybe. HSK Pro-ish, except a bit bigger and a bit less angular. So that one actually is sort of interesting to me, just because it's like iterating on the HSK Pro shape a bit. Maybe a bit would be sort of a middle ground between those like pen-like mice and the half mice. But the one that's really interesting to me, I guess there's a bit of backstory here, where because of the KPU, I was like, I like this mouse even in fingertip, but it's just a bit bulky. What if I cut it in half? So I did. And I liked it, but it was still a bit bulky. Then some guy on Twitter named Popo Pio made a mouse mod called the HCKP, which combined elements of fingertip mice and the KPU. And I'm like, this is perfect. But there are some small issues with it, namely like the button heights that kind of ruined that mouse for me. So didn't end up sticking with it. However, I still thought that that's sort of like the way it supports the pinky is what I would want out of a fingertip mouse. So I started doing these mods on the HSK with clay and with Legos. And I do find it comfortable. So when I plan to release the video about the HSK, which would go on the main channel, at the very end of it, I say like, I want to work with somebody to make this into like an ergonomic shape. And my idea was essentially to have it be KPU inspired with the way it's curved. And the asymmetrical version of the G-Wolves HSK is kind of like that, where it's got like a scoop and a bit of an extension for the way the pinky rests. I don't know what's going on the left side, actually. I don't remember, but it's just cool to see that like that idea is actually being explored by a company.
It's so weird looking at G-Wolves mice because they look like mods now. They look fucking crazy.
They are quite strange.
Like, I picked this thing up. There's like nothing inside. The PCB is just right there. Then I can see I can touch the scroll wheel and scroll it from the bottom of the mouse. Like, what the fuck is this? And they're just doing it. Like, okay.
They're just doing it.
Definitely an odd company, but I like what they make, and I like that they're making things that are unique, you know?
Yeah, I fuck with it.
Yeah,
I fuck with the like the unique type of things and not just making the fucking GPX too.
Yeah. Speaking of, Matty said that he's getting the Maya X actually, which is kind of like a lighter G Pro Superlight. So
it is.
We might get an answer to the question we posed last time about what he would think about a lighter Superlight. We were talking about that today, actually. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I'm curious because it's like 40 grams or something. So
big things happening in the aimer community.
It's like celebrity like gossip, but like, oh, but Matty's got a new mouse. Did you hear about that?
Oh my god. We need to go
cheating
outside.
On the Superlight? What the fuck? Okay, sorry.
60 minutes of touching grass minimum. We all need it right now.
I feel like I rambled for about 5,000 years about weird mice. So,
JD,
would you like to pick a question and just like end the podcast with whatever question?
I mean, we have a lot of questions here. We didn't even get through. We just kind of
We got through like 3.
What the fuck?
I mentioned to Bichu, cameo number 34. I sent her the question list, and she's like, "Oh,
might as well get her on the fucking podcast."
And yeah, she's like, "Oh, my question says." So I'd feel bad if we didn't answer that one.
And actually,
which one is it?
It's about burnout, effectively.
Oh,
I talked with Zyle like yesterday, and he posed this question to me, and I didn't really have a good answer. So I'm very curious.
Okay.
Would you like to read it?
No. Would you like to read it?
Pikachu says, when it comes to aim training / content creation / gaming, how do you deal with and handle instances of burnout? I'm early on in my aim training journey, but know from previous experiences in gaming / hobbies that I am prone to burnout and wanted to know how you handle it in terms of mentality and / or action.
Now, are any of us particularly good at this?
I'm okay.
Extremely burnt out right now, so any answers, please.
For me, and like I have been aim training now for 5 years, right? That is a quarter of my life. I have been on and off playing Kovacs FPS aim trainer. Isn't that awesome? You're not going to be motivated the whole time. I think that's just how it goes. For any like long-term improvement thing like aim training, there will be periods of low interest and low playtime. And I think accepting that is like the first step, not getting mad at yourself because you're not meeting your daily quota of Kovacs, you know? When I was like, I don't know, forcing myself to do it every day, that just made it so much worse. Like I haven't what did I play? I played like 10 minutes today, and like that's fine. That'll happen. I think that's the first step for me. Anyway, that's what it was. like realizing I can't do this every day. I will drive myself insane. And then the next one is variety within your practice. And this is what Matty gave as his answer to this question when I asked him independently. He is always playing something different and always pushing himself to do something new on the different things, you know, like he wants Clover, like fine control scores on a fast sense like Clover right now. So that's his goal. And then next month he'll be like, okay, I want like Lucan TS. I want to emulate his technique and I want to get really good at it. And like, okay, that's what he's doing for the next while. That's how he's always gone about it. I've done similarly, and that's worked for me. I haven't ever like quit and been like, fuck this, I'm done with aim training. It's always been like, yeah, I'm not playing as much right now. And yeah, that worked for me. But it is a tough one, and motivation will come and go.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. You want to go?
Oh, you go.
Okay. I'm working on a video where I wanted to compile like things I've learned from acquiring so many like random skills. And a lot of it was about learning to meet yourself halfway when it comes to practice. It's a lot about finding the fun in whatever you're doing, because a lot of the times, like, I think cooking is probably the best example, where so many people who interface with cooking on a daily basis kind of hate it, and they never look forward to it, they never really enjoy it. It's just something they get out of the way.
Have you talked to my dad much about cooking? Because I feel like you've kind of done this for him, which has been really cool.
Yeah.
Where like he enjoys it now.
That's what I was
That's
gonna
nice.
mention, is that I think for at least two separate families, they have interacted with me in cooking, and my like childlike wonder with the skill has reinvigorated like a dormant interest in it, which is really flattering. The first one was my family, where, you know, same 7 meals every week, that sort of thing. Maybe not even 7, it's probably, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Just like it was a chore. After I started cooking, like, oh, let me try this cuisine, let's try this new dish, let's try this new technique. There was that like kind of bleed over of interest. I just kept making new things for myself to do that I found interesting in the hobby. And whenever I would get really tired of it and it would become a chore, and sometimes it is just going to be like, okay, well, let's just get out of the way. I would start thinking about, okay, well, maybe I'll try a new recipe. Maybe I'll try, getting myself a new pan or something. And that will like re-spark some interest again. But
crazy
yeah,
knife you bought.
yeah. My parents kind of got back into the hobby, or not even a hobby, just like kind of got back into enjoying cooking again by just like whenever I'm not cooking, they'll do something interesting with whatever day they have. Let's like try to make their homemade lasagna or whatever, just things like that. And then with Laura's family, it's taken off. Like I don't even get the opportunity to cook anymore because like they just schedule 7 meals, and just every night is like a new one they've never done before.
It's really cool too, because like this has never happened before. I think my dad tried it once for 1 week, and then he went back to cooking what he would usually do. So yeah,
Your mom's lasagna, that shit
that
goes
was
hard.
good.
It was good. I miss it.
And I guess the last one would be you, JD, where you have like gained a level of confidence in the kitchen now.
You helped me with that, actually. You can add me to that list. Because growing up, my mom like never let me cook alone. It was always, every time I would be like, hey mom, can I cook with you? It was always me watching. Anytime I would try anything, she'd be like, no, you're doing it wrong, and then take over. So I had no confidence. And then it came, like we cooked a few times together, but it came to that one day where you left me alone because you went out and did something, I forget. You left me alone, and I'm like, oh my god, she trusts me that much to not fuck this up. I must be okay at this. You know, like if I was downright like noobish at it, you would not leave me alone. You'd
And
be
then
like,
you
okay,
sent
we
the
need
photo of the fucking fire.
Yeah.
I
was
googled
picking up.
pan on fire and sent it to Pinky. But I will say the food turned out fine. Thank you.
There was,
More than
there was
fine, it was
no
great.
fire.
Yes. And then from that day forward, though, it definitely gave me a lot of confidence, like a lot. And I've been cooking for myself a lot more rather than just doing like Uber Eats and stuff. So yeah, that's your fault. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And the other thing, I remember you asked me about like what would I do differently when I was aim training at first. Maybe it was a question we answered here actually.
Might have been,
And
yeah.
my answer was like I probably wouldn't really change anything because like the way I got into it was just like what was fun for me at the time. And I think that is important.
I agree.
If you find efficiency fun, then go for it. Do whatever is optimal for you. But you still have to meet yourself halfway. Like if you want to just spend a day playing, something that may not be ideal practice for you, like that's okay. Practice is practice. The biggest example for me.
You go.
Okay. Biggest example for me was music, where it was only after I stopped trying to learn in a very structured way that I started getting a lot better. And with guitar, I just completely abandoned any sort of like reasonable way to learn an instrument. I was just like, let me just play a bunch of songs I like over and over again. And I'm not good, and there are elements of my skill set that have taken a hit as a result of the way that I've gone about it. However, I do have the ability to play guitar, and it's like an outlet and a hobby for me, so it was good enough.
Heck yeah. I had the same thing with instruments actually, where like flute, hated it. Piano, I wanted to learn it. That's pretty fun. The Kovacs example I was going to mention, for a long time, I wished I had enjoyed different categories, and like I only played target switching for a while because it was all I found fun, and I was still getting better, but I could have gotten better so much more efficiently. I don't think the mistake I made was not playing categories I didn't enjoy. My mistake was not finding the fun in those categories. Like I would play like Ground Plaza 200% ultra fast and like, oh, I'm getting better at reactive, but this is also suffering and I hate this. And I never tried like, tracking that I actually enjoyed, or I probably should do the same with dynamic, but like static, I played like extra small dots or something. I never played wide wall, which I actually really did enjoy. So yeah, focus on finding the fun and, figuring out what makes things fun for you as well.
And that usually will change.
Yeah.
Like probably after you got better at wide wall, like all the other scenarios for static became a lot more accessible to you.
Tracking was the biggest one. I got good at like one air scenario, and then I'm like, holy shit, I like this.
For content creation, it's a tricky one, but I think you should always have some level of passion for whatever topic that you're addressing. And I don't know, I have a very strained approach to content because I don't post very often. But if the other elements of things that stop me from posting weren't there, I do think it's been a big benefit for me to always be enjoying the process and loving the topic that I'm addressing. Maybe not necessarily loving, but just like having a lot to say and having ideas about what I'm making that make me excited to like express them. And then also like sometimes it is gonna be about finding the fun in it again. Like I think both you and I, Laura, especially with editing.
Editing is the biggest one. I was gonna say that.
Yep. You can talk about it then.
I do stupid over-the-top nonsense editing on my videos that I don't need to do, because otherwise I would not finish the video. Like people say, oh, why don't you just put less time into it? Because then it wouldn't get done. I have tried to make videos that I don't care about before, like you were talking about. I can't do it. I have tried to just put clips in the timeline. I can't do it. Like, I will spend more time just putting clips together than I would have spent doing a fancy edit that actually looks cool. So I've found what I enjoy there. And even if it takes me a while, it creates a good video, and it means it actually gets done because I enjoy the process of learning new skills for these weird nonsense edits that are completely overkill for what I'm talking about. So yeah.
I mean, even for me, it's like just something small, like a clip dump. It's like there's like usually 1 or 2 clips in there that I want other people to look at, you know, like I'll send it in our group chat, Pingu and Laura, and you know, it's like I'm really proud of it or something, and then I'll put it in like a Twitter dump or something, and I want other people to watch it and stuff. I guess just showing off, but it's good motivation.
If it works, you know.
It is.
Yeah.
It's important to get that like external feedback of like, yeah, this is something that works and it's something that is cool.
I started posting to document my own progress. I was like, I want to be able to watch back this video in like 2 years and be like, wow, I sucked, even though like I wanted it to be my best possible like video, and that's what motivated me to make my first montage. So that was a big one for me.
That's a good question.
Anything else to say about burnout?
Very good question. Fun?
Do you have anything else to say about burnout? I do have one more thing, actually.
It passes. Eventually it passes, but yeah.
I think that's
I
all
get
I
it.
got. I've dealt with this with content creation, especially. It's fucking rough. I think the biggest thing for me was just not compounding that burnout with being grumpy at myself for being burned out. I think that that is really important.
One thing with aiming that I've found has helped a lot is being a part of the community. Especially like when we watched all of those clips the other day.
That was so cool. JD, did you get this?
It made me want to get on the game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I was like, I need to get clips. Like
seeing everybody's best like back to back.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, I want to like continue getting better.
And it worked. I'm playing Kovacs again. I've been grinding like Fragpunk for clips for Twitter, and I haven't in a while. I haven't posted gameplay in a long time, so
yeah, me too. I posted back to back like Fragpunk stuff, you know. Good.
I feel like the AIM community has like woken up a little bit recently. It feels like they do have more of a presence in the past like month or so.
I agree.
Where people are like just posting clips and stuff, and you see a lot of familiar faces on all of these posts. And yeah, I really am enjoying that sense of community and like this sort of mass desire to continue getting better at this skill that we share a passion for.
Well said.
Yeah. There's a new little like I don't know how to describe it, like casual group. I don't know if you've seen them, but they've been posting a lot on Twitter.
Do we talk about this? Because I have words to say about this topic. Fuck it, let's go. I think it's fucking awesome how people make aim groups for their friends to share in this hobby. And I think it fucking sucks that this community will tear them down constantly because they're not the next Voltaic or whatever the fuck. Who cares? It's a friend group.
Get out of here. Oh, God.
I hate this fucking elitist mentality that if you're not going to be the next, like, you know, big group, why try? Because it's fun. That's why. Fun. It's fun. It's cool. It's nice to share this hobby with friends. And I don't know how people don't get that. Anyway, that's all I got.
No, that's well said. I have the same thoughts.
I agree. I'm like, oh my God, imagine, like, I just imagine myself when I was first getting into this stuff. If someone had, like, been really elitist to me, I would never have gotten into it. I would have turned away and gone back to, like, control.
I have a second channel script about this topic, exactly, talking about why the AIM community seems so impenetrable to so many people. Yeah. And I think that plays a big part in that. I don't know if I'll end up making that video, but yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I think it's very cool. Even no matter what skill you are, you know, as long as you're posting stuff and you're proud of it. that matters.
And like I said, you know, it can be to document improvement instead of like show off. Like, and I wish I was posting more when I was like brand new to M&K. It would be so fucking cool to have this like full record from like when I was 10 to now, a full decade of videos, but I don't have that. So I don't know. Learn from my mistakes, I guess, and make sure to record your gameplay even if you don't think it's good, because future you will appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, I was posting to like no likes. It would just be sleeping bunnies and like another friend that would like my stuff, and that's it.
Cool.
You know, it's just, and I'm really glad that I still have those clips. So try not to compare yourself and just document your own progress.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
It's really important to celebrate the little victories, especially even in regards to that burnout question. But
yeah, I was
like,
gonna say it links back really well.
It's good to be proud of any small progress that you make. And yeah, it's good to celebrate other people also on that same grind.
Yeah.
Also, like, there are 99% of aim groups, even if you are like some elite group of aimers, you don't do anything. A lot of you promote a product, occasionally release like 4 scenarios, but like, what are you doing? That's so like important that you have to anyway, I think
No,
that's
check this code out. Yeah. We making enemies on this episode.
Nah, I really don't think that side of the community is as big as it seems. They're just quite vocal. At least I hope.
Yeah. Well, like I said though, if I got greeted with that when I was new, I would have been turned off so hard. So I try and welcome people and not do that. Is there any other questions we should talk about? I know we're at like the 2-hour mark, but I guess while we're here. It's hard to get you two, Nicole.
Sorry.
Somebody messing with you.
okay. One last question from Ethereal. What are your top 3 chip places? Well, French fries.
Oh my god!
Why would you call it that?
I'm sorry, I have to translate for my fellow Americans.
When I was in New Zealand for Christmas, oh my god, any fish and chip shop that's near the ocean. There was this fish and chip shop literally across the road is the ocean. Go there. Just don't even question it. Go there, order the fish and chips. I don't eat fish. I eat chips. Fucking hell. That shit hits different. Australia's a little, I don't know. Australia's so hit and miss with the fish and chip places for me. But New Zealand, oh, sorry, my fat ass is getting too excited right now. You two talk.
I don't know. I think I can't say a lot of my favorites because it will dox me. But there are a lot of local places. I know if you're Aussie and you're like rural-ish, like pub chips with the crazy amounts of chicken salt. Oh my god, so good. Honorable mention Australian KFC. They do alright.
I was about to say it is fucked up that your KFC is so much better than ours. How did that even happen? It doesn't make sense. It's got Kentucky in the name.
It does like mac and cheese and corn and all that. Does it do chips? Or fries?
I actually don't know. But even the chicken is like significantly better here.
I've had
it tastes like a real
KFC chips. They're completely different. Not good.
Oh.
I would say of the ones that I've had so far, KFC and Red Rooster. Is Red Rooster local?
Red Rooster! No, right? Fuck yeah! Red Rooster's so good because they put so much salt on.
By the time I get to the end, I'm like, this is too much. I need to stop.
Yeah.
But
I always have to lie down and drink water. Otherwise, it's like I'm sleeping. But
it's very good.
It's good.
Yeah, I think anything else that I could mention is like a local place that would dox me. So
There's like
Yeah.
tiny little shops that do
Right.
nothing, but like chips and
And they're
sausage
just so
rolls.
fucking good for no reason.
Yeah, and then they shut down like a month later, and it's like, fuck, well, that's
The
that, I
best,
guess.
the best ice cream I have ever had, and I'm curious if you two agree because you've both had it, is just like a tiny
Mm,
corner shop here, and nothing else
mhm.
has came close. And it's not a chain;
I
it's just
agree.
like a shop that was started by a family, like back in the 70s or something, and it just gaps everything else.
Absolutely everything. It's the best ice cream I've had in my life.
That's crazy, actually.
We should
Pingu,
go back.
I've
I don't actually remember.
what?
how do you not remember? You just want more ice cream.
Well, I remember the ice cream cakes, but I don't remember the one like cone that we had. The cakes are good, but I wouldn't say it's like transcendental.
Bad
Oh my
taste.
fucking
Bad
god.
taste.
What?
Can we
So
kick Pingu
when
from the
you
call?
say
Fucking
like the
broken
best ice cream ever,
American
you
taste buds.
include
Yeah, cakes included.
you. Okay, then I'm not sure I can't agree then.
What's the
Broken
best ice
American
cream
taste
you've
buds.
There was a place that whenever we went to like I think Long Beach uh in New York,
Long
there's a place
Beach.
called
It's like a
Marvel,
GTA place.
and it had like the best soft serve I've ever had. Um I can't remember how good the cone was because it's been so long since we went.
I
But
think you
I mean, it
just
is
want
good.
more
It is
ice
definitely good.
cream. I think you're just fishing
You
to
need
go back to the
We
place.
should. We should feed the ducks.
Is the duck park
Um,
open?
It
I
is
remember it was
actually
closed.
the bats
we
have
had a
gone.
fucked up
Bats.
experience
That was
where
so
we went
funny.
to this pond that Laura went to as like a kid. We saw some geese. We saw some kois. Not koi. It was kois, right?
Yeah.
And after we leave, Laura's just like, "Look at that! There's like 300 bats in the trees." Just
Pingu
staring at us.
fleeing.
I was like, "What do you mean?" But they were they're just everywhere. I thought they were the trees.
I think
It
I
was
got a
the same when I
photo.
lived
Yeah,
in
yeah.
rural Queensland. Every like afternoon around 6, there would just be bats. If you walk down the street, there'd be bats flying everywhere.
Well, it's worse up
That
there,
is
isn't it? Like this is like kind of low for them.
Um,
You
I do
know,
remember
they're
one
usually more
time my
north.
dad was super scared of bats, and we were at like a
no.
hotel, and a bat flew onto like the balcony, and he ran and locked me outside with the bat when I was like 8 years
What the
old.
what?
'Cause he was so scared of bats, and he like went and ran and locked the sliding door on me. So I was just outside with this bat screaming in
You
our
hang
hotel.
out? Oh,
No,
That's
because
terrible.
my dad
what
was
the
scared,
fuck?
so I'm like, I need to be scared too. Um, yeah, childhood trauma aside, I'm not
That's
scared of bats
horrible. Yeah.
anymore.
You like
They're
them
kind of
now?
cool.
I think
Yeah,
they're cool
I think they're actually
too.
quite cute. Yeah.
But
Same
they
with
did like
possums.
terrorize the park, didn't they? You said they was closed for like 2 years or something.
Yeah, about that. And a tree had to get taken down because they fucking killed it.
Oh no.
Like a 200-year-old tree or something, older. They killed it. So
Well,
People.
a little.
they're just
I wonder if this is too much information to give out about my
Yeah.
my town.
you're gonna get dogs.
There's gonna be someone like, wait a minute. I went to the ice cream place with the bats around. They were circling. I'm sure it's fine.
That person, me.
Did you ever see the
Ethereal
bats
was
actually?
really.
I didn't see them up close, but I assumed they were hanging around me.
Sorry, Finger, you go.
Ethereal was really passionate about the chips, and told me 2 places I have to try are Nando's. Have you
Yes.
had Nando's?
Yes. Try the double bacon, double cheese chicken wrap as well.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Said that the peri chips with the peri-nays is the way to go. I don't know what half of these words mean.
Doesn't matter. Try it.
There was conviction when you heard the term Nando's, Jodie. So
Nowadays, it's so. I never had it till I came to Australia either. But then when I had it,
Really?
I'm like, I get it. I get it.
Because there are like
Yeah.
none here. At least near
Yeah,
me.
the nearest one is 2 hours away. So
Oh, well, Uber Eats that shit then.
Poor Uber driver driving 2 rounds.
What was the second one though? I'm curious.
I think it was Alibaba is what it's called.
Alibaba? What the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Never heard of it.
50% ain't bad. Decent hit rate.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go to that place that Laura knows with the fish and chips. Oh my god, that shit was good.
I don't think Pinky liked
Okay.
it that much. If
What?
we're thinking about the same one.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the one with the wontons, whatever.
Yeah.
I think so.
It was near the ice cream place.
Yes, we've
I
never
see.
been to the in-person one, but we've had it as takeaway. And you weren't
Do you
that
say that
keen.
the takeaway is on par with in person?
So it's adjacent, yeah. A bit worse, but about the same.
The in-person was good, and it is so much as well.
Mm.
We got like a large. It was like for like a small family of 8.
I would say the chips were the best part of the meal, but I wasn't that impressed with the burgers.
Strange. I really liked it. But
The
you know
burgers are
this.
good, but it was the chips that was good. That was like the best part.
The chips are the most improved by being in person. So maybe you're not traitorous yet.
Okay.
I think we should deport Pinkify.
What?
Back to
Revoke
America.
my visa?
Yeah. Doesn't like any of our. Doesn't like our scissors. Doesn't like our chips. Not enough salt. Doesn't like anything. Just go home.
Go home.
Yeah, did you know that?
Bodegas and your pizza.
Did you know that like 1 in 3 people get skin cancer in Australia or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, it's
The
fine.
sun
I
is
learned
just
that in
evil
school.
here.
My dad
Even
and
you're not
granddad
safe
have
just
had
existing.
like cancerous what are they called?
Moles and
Moles,
stuff.
yeah. Had them removed.
Yeah, you have to go get checked out for it every year. It's why I don't go outside.
Right country, right country.
Our ozone layer is fucked.
Well, I think that's basically everything I wanted to say.
What percentage of the questions did we get through?
Probably about
1%.
0.5.
Saving them for next episode will be right.
I can see one right here. How bad are all your sleep schedules? I'm glad we did not get around to that one.
The first question of like what have we been playing was from me. The most played versus favorite games was Laura. The ones that we wish we had played was Riley, so like friend of the channel. About the one about the peripherals was me again. And then Ethereum with the chips.
Places. Yeah,
For a
someone in our
preview for
Discord.
the sleep schedule one, do either of you two have sleeping conditions or just like really bad sleep?
No comment.
Not sleeping conditions, but there's stuff that I have to do to sleep, if that makes sense.
I think I follow.
I mean, for me, I have to have a fan on, and then I also have to sleep in earphones listening to like Northern Lion or adjacent YouTube channels.
Did you know Joseph Anderson did a name reveal? His name isn't Joseph Anderson. Do you want to know his name?
Oh my god, I knew his name wasn't Joseph Anderson. What is his actual name though?
Tom.
Tom!
She was talking about this with B and
I
said like I
fucking
guessed it
called it.
actually. That doesn't make any
I
sense. What do you
called it.
mean you called
No, I
somebody's
called
name?
it. I probably saw either him joking about it on the Deadly Premonition stream or the Reddit comment that guessed it. But I'm like, oh, okay. Name's actually Tom. Cool.
This is not right. Thomas.
Why would he call his
No.
channel fucking Joseph Anderson?
Joseph
Anderson.
At least be Tom Anderson. Oh my god.
I have a confession to make. My name isn't
Yeah?
actually Viscose.
Whoa. What the fuck have I been calling you?
Sorry, that was so off topic.
Next, you gotta tell me Pingu's first name isn't Pingu.
I got bad news for you.
Oh no,
I don't.
Miss Sergeant Penguin over there, or whatever it is, Lieutenant Penguin 69.
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing the one time that somebody on Reddit talked about me on the comic subreddit, and I had to reply as Sergeant Penguin.
It's cute. Was that your your Xbox username or?
I think I made that one for game battles in COD.
That's cool.
I thought my name was like too childish, so I'm like Sergeant. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I knew
Sergeant
somebody
Penguin.
named Lieutenant Penguin actually. I'm like, I can't do that. I have to pick a different rank.
That's so funny. You had the clown going.
We'll get to that next time though. We've been sitting on the question for how do we get our names for like 4
Sure.
weeks.
Sure.
So next
You'll
time.
never
next
know.
time.
I actually have a story for that, but I guess we will wait till next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good little
You have to
cliffhanger.
Mm. How did I become Miss Colors? You'll never know.
Why do you spell it wrong?
I spell it right, you fucking American.